Hello there everyone, my name is Penelope Milner and this morning I will be in conversation with Ramma Shahid, who is the founder of Beti. Brilliant, thank you everyone, we'll be starting the presentation shortly. I will now be showing a clip just to introduce Ramma, as we're having a slight internet issue this morning, so just bear with us, but we'll have a brilliant session nonetheless.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ramma Shahid and I'm the founder of a social impact organization called Beti from Pakistan. I'm happy to be part of this year's Festival for Change, and the theme for this year is climate crisis. Join me in my talk, during which I will speak about how the climate crisis, like everywhere else in the world, disproportionately affects women and young girls, and what challenges they go through every single day, whether it's access to opportunity or their mobility, and how patriarchal mindsets don't help the case. So hoping to see you all and having an open conversation with you about this and learning from you too. Thank you.
Fantastic video there. Thank you, Ramma, and welcome to the session today. As you spoke, we'll be talking about the climate crisis this morning and the disproportionate effects that has on young women and girls. Just a quick introduction to me as well. My name is Penelope and I'm a geography student at the University of Leeds, and I'm really passionate about climate change, hence I wanted to get involved with this Festival for Change. So the way that this session will work is that Ramma will do a short 5-minute introduction, followed by questions from the audience. So I really look forward to lots of participation from you all on the call. Ramma, I'll hand over to you now for a 5-minute presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Penelope. I apologize for not switching off my camera. There seems to be internet challenges at my end, so I'm going to be talking about this on audio. I will take a chance and just switch on the audio and see if it works. Assalamu alaikum from Pakistan. Very happy to be part of Festival for Change, and happy to see so many stakeholders invested in making the right conversation. And
Well, I think, Ramma, if you can, we had you for a while there and it was fantastic, but I think if you just turn your camera back off again, that would be lovely. Thank you. Lovely. Sorry about that, everyone. I think we're just having a few internet problems at the moment, and I'm sure that they'll resolve in a moment. But if any of you have any questions in the meantime from what was said in the video clip for Ramma, if you can pop those in the comment section, then that will be lovely. And hopefully when she's back online in a moment, we'll be able to get those questions answered for you. It would also be lovely if you want to comment from where you're calling from in the world, and it would be brilliant to see who we've got on call today. Okay, I suppose while we're just waiting in the meantime, I could talk a little bit as well about what I've been doing in terms of the climate crisis and the Festival for Change. Is that I'm part of a I think hi Ramma, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Apologies for this. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's perfect. I think if we just keep your camera off, it was lovely to have you with us there for a second, but I think if we just keep your camera off and then it will work perfectly.
So
Amazing.
as I was saying that, in whether it's the farming industry or the livestock industry, you'll see that a lot mobility. Women in rural areas will work from 12 to 14 hours every day. And when you talk about documented cases of gender-based violence, we've seen, femicide, we've seen harassment, we've seen all kinds of crimes against women and young girls. So women who work in the farming fields have lesser choices of work also if the crops fail as compared to men, because men can then make a decision, move to an urban city, maybe a bigger city with more opportunities, where puts women's safety at risk, where at times they have to walk very, 2 to 3 kilometers just to get water. And imagine walking alone, not having the right shoes, not being safe, if it's hot, if it's too cold, to all these places just to get water, and carrying all that load of water every day for sustaining, whether it's your work or your home. In addition to that, I do feel that particular roles that are assigned to women in Pakistan pose more vulnerabilities. So, like I said, water collection is the domestic inequality that we see, that women are more seen in the kitchen, taking care of children. And I'm not saying that it's just there should be a balance. That's what wants to see more onus of responsibility on the men in the household also. And what I want to share here, why I started Beti, was that the birth of daughter is still very, very unwelcome in most of the areas, rural, especially in Pakistan, even in urban. Her third pregnancy revealed that it was another daughter. And you see the value system of honor is just attached to the body or the spirit of a woman and not to a man, and because of that there's certain constraint. I would like to share that during an Oxfam study in 2013, it was seen that women were walk at least 2 to 6 kilometers areas. Now, I started Beti because I felt that it's a great platform, and it digitally connects, makes it possible for us to connect to so many people in Pakistan and all over the world. And Beti produced many campaigns, raising awareness about rights of women. Another area that we tried to cover in Beti was inheritance rights. So women who work on these farms and lands do not own, and end up kind of giving them away to their brothers or their stops with daughters, it only continues with sons. Um, and that's the these are the glaring realities. At the same time, I would like to point out here that Pakistan, in context of the global carbon emission, still emits very few. It's less than 1%, and the commitment of this government and overall smaller organization is there, and that is very inspirational to see. More work needs to be done. I think the policy needs to be gender sensitive. of contrast. And also you see the mindset has to change, whether it's towards women and young girls. Even when access to healthcare facility is concerned. So when we're talking about population control, we see that there's lack of awareness, and because there's so exponential growth in population in Pakistan, the rate is frightening. What we see is that there's lesser resource, lesser food on the table, lesser access to opportunity. The inclusion needs really to be amplified and to be worked upon, because you see, when we don't have voices on these tables, most of the decisions that are made about us will reflect a certain point of view, or will kind of work in favor of a patriarchal system that already exists. Happy to be part of Festival of Change. I really hope that the next year we have these conversations, certain commitments are realized, and certain work is done towards making.
Oh, are you still with us, Ramma?
Yes.
Oh, lovely. I think unfortunately we're still having a few connection issues, so I'm really sorry. Do you mind just turning the camera back off again? So sorry about that. But it's been lovely to hear from you, and thank you so much for that brilliant introduction. So if anyone has, I'm sure everyone's got lots of questions, so if you could pop them into the comment section, and then I can start going through those. So brilliant. We've had a question from Nicolette Bota, and she said, this is a fantastic initiative tackling the root causes of gender inequality. And I would love to hear more about how Beti is tackling such things as unfair property rights, safe travel.
So, Nicolette, I really hope that, first of all, I'm one of the beneficiaries if any changes come to Pakistan. Like I said, I'm still fighting the fight of my inheritance. My property. So what Beti does is we kind of raise awareness digitally and on ground about the law that exists, that safeguards and makes sure that women get their property rights, the daughters and wives get their property of the law that exists. It's easier for them to get access, and it's easier for them to find a voice, because they know they're safeguarded by a certain law. Secondly, what we do is, because it's a digital platform, if somebody poses a certain request, we kind of build a network that we send them to the right government institutions, or we kind of connect them with a lawyer that can help them. It's still a very long road. Unfortunately, only less than 10% of women own a house. Penelope, are you still there? Okay,
Yeah, I'm still there.
So there's a question that was posed to me earlier, and I thought I'd share it here. And it said, what are the main social inequalities that lead to problems for women in climate change and climate crisis? And I think lower literacy, awareness about how we have to be perceived as equal human beings needs to be there, and behavioral change needs to be there. So I thought that was very relevant, and perhaps even exists in other countries in Southeast Asia.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Rama, and thank you so much for that question, Nicolette. I suppose just to add to that, I wanted to ask, what is it that current strategies, what is it that they lack, do you think, that's not enabling, this change? And I was wondering, do you have any kind of like direct influence on any policies or policy making? Are you in touch with local government?
Absolutely. I think now that Beti is recognized as a stakeholder, we have our mechanism where we can reach out to the government of Pakistan about certain policies, where my voice is heard on certain platforms. And I make use of the media a lot. So I appear on television shows, I write in the local newspaper, national newspaper, and I raise my voice regarding whatever
Hi, Rama. I just wanted to check that you're still on the line with us. Oh, lovely. I think she's just trying to reload, and then hopefully we'll get going for hopefully a couple more questions that will get answered on the stream. So I hope that Rama will be back with us shortly. But thank you so much for your questions so far. Oh, brilliant. I think she'll be coming on call now.
Yes, I'm back.
Are you back? Oh.
It seems like a dialogue from a movie. I'm back.
Oh no, don't worry at all. You can't help these things with the internet. I was just sorry, I heard the bit about that you're on television shows quite a lot to kind of like influence this issue and make spread awareness of what's going on. And I was just wondering if you could say just the last bit of that answer there for that question for me, please. Thank you.
A lot of panels where we're invited and to kind of representing Beti, representing women. But like you said, the missing link is still the behavioral change. If those that are making decisions for us are men and they don't believe in equality or equity for women in terms of climate crisis, and they don't realize how deeply marginalized women and battle. So the shift in mindset has to come in, and I think with Beti also that's what we try to do. We curate the kind of content that can start building this narrative that women have to be perceived as human beings and not as inferior beings, and that's the mindset that needs to the mindset shift that needs to come in.
Brilliant, thank you for that. So it sounds like it's more of kind of like a behavioural, the attitudes of the people that need to kind of change, so that this issue kind of phases out, I suppose. So if anyone's got any other questions, do keep them coming in the chat. I think we've got time for a few more. But I was just wondering, just linked to that, what is Pakistan's commitment towards the climate crisis within the next 5 years? And do you think that will depend quite a lot on this behavioural shift, do you think, in people and their attitude towards equality?
Absolutely. I think it would. I think, like I said, those that are perpetuating whatever policy, or those that are leading these policies, have to believe in the idea. Secondly, I think we have to there's a lot of commendable work that this government has. Hello. Am
Hello.
I? Yes. Okay. Okay. What this government has done is the 10 billion tree tsunami that I think is it has been appreciated worldwide. Like I said, new parks are being built, national parks, and there are departments in every province, like the Women Development Department, then NCSW, PCSW, that works towards empowering women and the underserved communities and young girls. So there's a lot of has to be there. So every time, if we are being complacent about a certain act, I think the delay is costing people's lives. The delay is costing people's mental health, their well-being overall also. And adapting to like I said, best practices could be something that the government needs to be mindful of, and making all these policies gender sensitive, with a clear differentiation of policies. That so what is going to be applicable
Oh, thank you for your answer there, Ramma. Thank you so much. Just a final question then to kind of leave the session before we wrap up is from Nicolette, and she asks, patriarchal mindsets and value systems are indeed pervasive and hard to tackle, and it's great the work you are doing to raise awareness of this. And Nicolette then asks, what can FFC do to support you in this?
Thank you so much, Nicolette. I know that everyone, I think most women understand what it is that we mean by when we and see if any collaboration can be done with your expertise and your experience. Perhaps something can be designed collectively. Maybe we can learn from you. I think what we really need help with is getting the word out. And as a stakeholder, the more recognition that comes in for organizations such as ours, that's easier as it is for us to kind of influence bigger stakeholders back home. And unfortunately, that is how it is. That I was provided on this panel for Festival for Change, and having my access to so many different people, and it certainly adds to my learning curve also.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ramma. So unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. Just before we leave, Ramma, I didn't know, if anyone wants to find out anything else about the work that you're doing or follow what's happening with Beti. Is there any resources or anything that you can signpost anyone to if they're interested?
Penelope, can I email it to you or should I share it right now?
I'll tell you what, I think maybe if you pop it in the chat that we've got at the side, then people might be able to see that, and then they can hopefully follow the resources. But if you email us, I'm sure that we can share that on our Festival for Change networks, and then after the presentation, if we can add those to that, and then everyone can access those resources. So thank you, that would be brilliant. So thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this stream again. We've also had a thank you from Sophie Beckett as well, and thank you, Nicolette, for your questions too. Thank you so much, Ramma, for being here today. I know that unfortunately we've had these internet issues, but it's been brilliant to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here today. Lovely. I'm really sorry I can't hear you again there. But yes, thank you all, and thank you for everyone for tuning in to the Festival for Change conversation today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.